Milf's Threesomes 12-pack, books 37 to 48, Milf Erotica Threesome Erotica, Anal Sex Erotica Collection, written by Nicki Menage, narrated by Kline. Spying on my lodger and his girlfriend, Milf's Threesomes 37, FFM Lesbian Erotica, Milf Threesome Erotica. Sundays can be boring as hell. I say can be because that Sunday certainly wasn't. It started as slow and lazy as always, with me making a coffee and taking things easy around the house. My lodger Harry was excited as he was hosting his new girlfriend, Nicole. I'd met her a couple of times, and she seemed nice. But as an older woman, I'm naturally suspicious. I only want the best for Harry, even though he was 19 and fully able to make his own decision. Shit. He decided to move in with me against other people's advice, I'm sure. What young man would want to live with a 43-year-old divorcee, after all? More than you'd think. She came round later that morning, all smiles. Her and Harry took a drink out to the pool, and I stayed inside. I guess a large part of me was jealous. After my husband left, I lived alone for a while before Harry arrived. And now here comes his new squeeze, taking all the attention away from me. I let out a sigh and tried not to pout about it too much, flicking idly through the property programs and food shows that littered the schedule every Sunday. Better than the news, I suppose. The whole time, I could hear the pair of them giggling through the open window. It was like a dagger to the heart. It felt as though they were laughing directly at me as I sat there in my dressing gown, with the time fast approaching midday. Finally, I had enough. I scowled and made my way to the window to close it, intending to do so loudly. When I got there and looked out to the pool, though, I saw nothing apart from two lovebirds smitten in each other's company. It was enough to melt my icy heart. I lingered at the window, watching as Harry took Nicole's weight in his arms and danced around the pool with her, her tight athletic body pressed close to his. I thought back to a time when my husband used to treat me like that. I pulled my gown tight around me and folded my arms, continuing to watch them. I couldn't help but smile. Harry seemed to have found a good girl, and I was perhaps a bit rash in my judgment of her. Nicole looked to the window, and I stepped back a few inches. I couldn't be sure if she'd seen me. She didn't alert Harry to my presence, but she did plant her lips on his and give him the most sensual, sexual kiss I'd seen in a long time. My heart raced as I watched her embrace him. I bit my lip and watched the two of them enjoy themselves. She pulled away from him, and a naughty smirk spread across her face. She whispered something, and then Harry looked around. This time, I stepped right back from the window. I stood there in the lounge, feeling the adrenaline course through my veins. It was a thrill to spy on them like that, and a greater thrill to think I might be caught. I braced for one of them to return to the house, but after a minute or so of waiting, I realized I was in the clear. When I looked back out to the pool, I found it empty. The blue water was still, and there was no trace of Harry or Nicole to be found. The only place they could have gone was the pool house. With the blinds drawn, it was tough to tell what they were up to. Shit. That was probably the whole point. I sat back on the couch and continued to flick through the television channels, but I couldn't help but wonder what the two of them were up to. What was Nicole doing with my darling Harry? I couldn't sit still. I took a breath and rose from my seat, scaling the stairs quickly and flashing open my wardrobe. Inside, I selected one of my more figure-hugging swimsuits. At 43, I like to think I still had some sex appeal. I turned to check my figure in the mirror. My legs were freshly waxed, and their tan was golden. I put some quick volume into my hair with my hands, and then looked down on the pool from my bedroom window. There was still no sign of the two of them, but through a gap in the curtains, I could see something moving. "Let's see if Mrs. Charles can join the party," I smirked. I grabbed my sun hat and ventured out to the pool under the disguise of cooling off. It was entirely plausible, but I knew that Harry wouldn't be happy to see me interrupting his private date.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?